Hat, sunglasses, Pepsi, notes, sources, thick skin, check. You already know. Let's go. Welcome to Gold and Blue today, everybody. This is a college football channel. So if you like college football, hit the like and subscribe button. It's that simple. Also, send gear to represent your team and be a part of my background forever. All you have to do is send it to P.O. Box 360, Liberty, South Carolina 29657. Another crazy week of college football in the books, and there were a lot of blowouts that I did not see coming. I'm talking about the favorites getting blown out. Several favorites getting blown out. And then several underdogs that got blown out that I thought would be closer. I thought the Penn State-Ohio State game would be closer, and Ohio State blew them out on the road 44-31. And it was a close game until a few mistakes by Penn State. Penn State could have won that game, but some big mistakes late in the game, and Ohio State breaks it open. Tennessee-Kentucky. This game was never close. Even when Kentucky scored and missed the extra point, it's still, no, you knew that Tennessee was going to win. Tennessee basically scored at will, and they actually had a pretty decent defense against Kentucky. They blow them out 44-6. Michigan blows out Michigan State. I kind of expected that one, 29-7. Wake Forest going on the road and getting blasted by Louisville 48-21. Did anybody see that cup? No, not me. That was a that was a beatdown that I did not see coming. What about Oklahoma State at Kansas State? They didn't even score a point. Kansas State blows them out 48-0. I did predict the upset there, but not a blowout. That's insane, guys. Syracuse, they get blown out by Notre Dame, 41-24. Once again, I predicted the upset, but didn't see Syracuse getting blown out at home in the Dome by an average Notre Dame team, and that's being generous. So the AP poll has some big shakeups, but so does Gold and Blue Dudes poll. So first I'll give you the AP Top 25, and then I'll give you my top 25, and as always, I'll let you decide which one you prefer. First up, the AP top 25. Number 1, Georgia, 45 first place votes. Number 2, Ohio State, 13 first place votes. And number 3, Tennessee, 5 first place votes. Number 4, Michigan. Number 5, Clemson. Number 6, Alabama. Number 7, TCU. Number 8, Oregon. Number 9, USC. Number 10, Ole Miss. Number 11, UCLA. Number 12, Utah. Number 13, Illinois. Number 14, Kansas State. Number 15, North Carolina. Number 16, Penn State. Number 17, LSU. Number 18, Oklahoma State. Number 19, Wake Forest. Number 20, NC State. Number 21, Tulane. Number 22, Syracuse. Number 23, Liberty. Number 24, Kentucky. And number 25, UCF. First, I want to put this out here. Kentucky has no business being in the top 25 after being blasted by Tennessee and having 3 losses. Just like last week when I disagreed with ranking South Carolina in the top 25, and they proved it, they lost to Missouri. I don't think that Kentucky should be ranked in this week's poll. Maybe they can earn their way back in, but for this week, they shouldn't be ranked. So the 2 teams that I booted completely out of my polls, Kentucky and Cincinnati. Now the AP poll, they did boot Cincinnati. Cincinnati went on the road and lost to UCF. That gives them 2 losses, and they were dangly there in the bottom of the top 25. So yeah, they deserve to be kicked out. So now Gold and Blue Dudes top 25. We'll start at the top this week. Sometimes I start from the bottom, but I'm going to start from the top. Number 1, we do have a new number 1 team in Gold and Blue Dudes top 25, and this week is going to be Ohio State. Up 2 spots. They go on the road and beat down number 13 Penn State 44-31. This was their first big test. They passed it with flying colors. Penn State did have them on the ropes there for a while. At halftime, Ohio State was losing this game, and it looked like Penn State could put them away, but Penn State made a couple of big mistakes, and Ohio State comes back. Not only do they come back, but they come back with a vengeance and blast Penn State 44-31. They are my new number 1 team. This is a week-to-week poll, and I based it on wins and losses and how good the wins were and how bad the losses were. I think Ohio State has the best win. Number 2 is Michigan, down 1 spot. Last week, they were my number 1 team. They did beat Michigan State 29-7. Still a good win, but not as good of a win as Ohio State. Number 3, this is Tennessee, up 2 spots from last week. They beat number 19 Kentucky 44-6. Kentucky maybe a little overrated. I thought Kentucky had a chance to win this football game because Chris Rodriguez was back. They had no shot of winning this game. Tennessee firmly now in my top 4. Number 4, Georgia, down 2 spots. Yes, Georgia does beat Florida 42-20, and it looked like they were going to run Florida out of the building, by halftime, but Florida does come back, make it a game, and Georgia adds a couple of touchdowns there towards the end, so they do beat them convincingly. But Georgia has looked vulnerable, and that's why I dropped them a couple spots. Number 5, Clemson, I dropped them 1 spot. They were on a bye week, so I didn't punish them too much. Number 6, TCU, they stay the same. They went on the road and beat West Virginia 41-31. Honestly, TCU should have whooped the crap out of West Virginia, but they made enough mistakes to keep West Virginia hanging around. But eventually, they pulled it off, and a garbage touchdown with 20 seconds left gives them a 10-point win. TCU stays the same. Number 7, Oregon, they also stay the same. They go on the road and beat Cal 42-24. That's a decent win. Oregon could play their way into the playoffs. We'll keep our eyes on Oregon. Another team to keep our eyes on in the Pac-12, USC. USC goes on the road, beats Arizona. They did struggle a little bit, though. They win 45-37. But they do enough to stay the same. Number 9 stays the same as well. Alabama, they were on a bye week. I'm sorry, Alabama just hasn't impressed me, so I dropped them down to number 9, and they've stayed at number 9. If Alabama can pull off some good wins, then I'll bump them up. Number 10, UCLA, up 4 spots. Rebounding from the loss to Oregon last week. They beat Stanford 38-13 and looked pretty good doing it. Number 11, Illinois. Yeah, Illinois, they're also up 4 spots. They won at Nebraska 26-9. Right at points per game allowed. They allow right around 9 points per game. Well, final score, 26-9. Well done, Illinois. You're staying consistent. Need to work on the offense, though, because they scored right at their average. Their average is right around 26. 26-9 final score. Need to improve on offense, but the defense is spectacular. Number 1 scoring defense in the nation. Wow. Number 12, North Carolina. A quiet one-loss team. They're up 4 spots. They beat Pitt convincingly 42-24. Not a lot of people talking about North Carolina, but North Carolina does have a decent shot of winning the ACC. If they beat Clemson in the ACC, can they sneak their way into the playoffs? Think about that for a minute, guys. Wow. Number 13, Utah, up 4 spots. Utah went on the road and beat a good Washington State team 21-17. I decided to reward that. They're up 4 spots. Good job, Utah. Number 14, Tulane. Now, Tulane was on a bye week, but there were so many teams that got blown out and upset that they actually benefited from that. Up 4 spots. Number 15, Ole Miss. Rebounding from a loss last week. Humiliating loss to LSU last week. So they're up 5 spots. And they went on the road and beat Texas A&M, but still, I do not trust Ole Miss, but I did have to reward them. Number 16, this is where I have Oregon State. They're not in the AP Top 25 at all. I have them rising 6 spots because of things that happened above them, and I do think that Oregon State is a good team. I can't understand why they're not ranked in the AP Top 25. Number 17, Kansas State. They're up 8 spots after blanking Oklahoma State. Top 10, number 8, Oklahoma State, 48-0. So yes, they jump 8 spots. Number 18, NC State, up 5 spots. They barely beat Virginia Tech 22-21, but because of what happened above them, they benefited from that and jumped 5 spots. Number 19, Wake Forest, down 9 spots. Not only did they go on the road and get beat by Louisville, but they got blasted by Louisville 48-21. That's not a good look. My ranking is the same ranking as the AP Top 25. I have them at number 19. Number 20, Penn State. I dropped them 8 spots. I know that's not a terrible loss, but man, they had that game in hand, and they end up getting not blown out, but handled by Ohio State. Number 21, Oklahoma State, down 10 spots. Yes, I have to drop somebody significantly when they get blown out 48-0. But hey, at least you still get ranked. But my gosh, that was a bad game for Oklahoma State. Number 22, Maryland, they were on a bye week, so they benefited from some things that happened above them. Number 23, Liberty, also on their bye week, so they jumped 2 spots, benefiting from things that happened above them. Number 24, Syracuse, down 11 spots. After starting the season undefeated, 6-0. Now they reeled off 2 losses in a row. Last week was not a bad loss, but this week was a bad loss. Getting blown out at home by Notre Dame. That's a no-no. You can't do that. Number 25, UCF. I rewarded them because they did beat number 20 Cincinnati at home 25-21. But there's still some issues there at UCF. But hey, at least you're ranked. And yes, once again, I do have a tie at number 25, and the other number 25 this week is going to be LSU. Last week, I did not reward LSU by putting them in my top 25 by beating Ole Miss because I don't think Ole Miss is that great of a team, and LSU has looked bad at times, but Ole Miss did go on the road and beat Texas A&M. I rewarded Ole Miss, so I felt like I needed to reward LSU. Congratulations, LSU. You're now number 25, tied with UCF in Gold and Blue Dudes' new top 25 for week 9. So y'all let me know in the comments section, which poll do you prefer the best? Where do you agree with me? And where do you disagree with me on my top 25? That's all I got for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.